Hey, what's up, everyone? Imagine this. A colossal empire, the biggest the world's ever seen, with an army that crushed kingdoms from Asia to Europe. That's the Mongol Empire in the 13th century. Now picture a tiny nation, barely a blip on the map, standing up to these guys and winning. Not once, but 3 times. That's the story of Vietnam, or as it was called back then, Dai Viet. Today we're diving into 3 jaw-dropping victories, legendary battles, epic speeches, and the courage of a teenage general who changed history. Stick around to the end to see why this tale still blows minds today. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss out on more epic history. Let's set the scene. It's the 1200s, and the Mongol Empire is unstoppable. Under Genghis Khan and later his grandson Kublai Khan, they've taken down China, Persia, Russia, Eastern Europe, you name it. Cities fall, armies crumble, and the Mongols keep rolling. By 1253, they've wiped out the Dali Kingdom and are eyeing the Song dynasty, with Vietnam as their next stepping stone to conquer Southeast Asia. But who's Dai Viet? A small country in Southeast Asia, maybe 5 million people tops, with a territory smaller than some Mongol provinces. Ruled by the Tran dynasty, this place is all about unity. Kings, generals, and everyday folks ready to fight for their freedom. Against an empire that terrifies the world, Dai Viet's about to pull off the impossible. Let's break down how they did it in 3 epic showdowns. All right, let's jump to 1257. The Mongols, led by a guy named Uryankadai, come charging into Dai Viet with 30,000 troops, mostly badass cavalry. They figure this little country's gonna fold like a cheap tent. Spoiler alert, they're dead wrong. King Tran Tai Tong, just 40 years old, steps up big time. He teams up with his advisor, Tran Thu Zhou, and pulls a genius move called the empty garden strategy. They evacuate the capital, Thung Long, burn all the food supplies, and leave nothing for the Mongols to loot. The invaders take the city, but it's a ghost town. No food, no glory. They're stuck, starving, and pissed off. Key battle, Dongbodo on January 29, 1918, near modern-day Hanoi, Tran Tai Tong flips the script. He launches a surprise counterattack at Dongbodo. Vietnamese boats swarm the Mongol camp, arrows flying, soldiers storming in. It's chaos. Uryankadai panics, his army scatters, and they hightail it back north, losing over half their men. Iconic quote. When the king's stressing out, Tran Thu Zhou shuts it down with this gem. "My head's still on my shoulders, Your Majesty. Don't sweat it." That line's pure fire. It lights up the whole court and says, "We're not backing down." This win at Dongbodo, it's a massive wake-up call for the Mongols. A tiny nation just handed them their first L, and it's only the beginning. Fast forward to 1285. The Mongols are back and they're mad. Kublai Khan sends Togon, his own son, with a whopping 500,000 troops, 10 times what Dai Viet can muster. They attack from the north and south, thinking they'll crush this little country once and for all. But Dai Viet's got other plans. Hoi Nhi Dien Hung, the people's battle cry. In December 1284, King Tran Yun Tung calls a meeting that goes down in history. Hoi Nhi Dien Hung. He gathers elders from across the land in Thang Long and asks one question: fight or surrender? The room explodes with one word: fight, fight, fight. Hitch Tung Si, the speech that ignited a nation, enter Tran Hung Dao, the greatest general of his time. He writes a fiery speech called Hitch Tung Si To, rally his troops. Check this out. I skip meals, I can't sleep, my heart's breaking, all because I haven't torn apart our enemies. Even if my body falls on the battlefield or gets wrapped in horsehide, I'll die for our country. Those words turn soldiers into legends, ready to fight to the last breath. Key battles: Ham Tu and Chungjung, the Mongols attack from 3 sides, Togon from the north, Tuado from the south, and another force from Yunnan. Tran Hung Dao plays it smart, wearing them down with guerrilla tactics. In June 1285, at Ham Tu in Hung Yin, General Tran Yat Duet and Tran Quoc Tuan ambush Tuado's navy, torching their ships with fire arrows. Boom! Then at Chunzung, Tran Quang Kai smashes Togon's forces, retaking Thang Long. Togon's so humiliated, he hides in a bronze tube to escape. Tran Quoc Tuan, The teenage badass now. Let's talk about Tran Quoc Tuan, a 16-year-old kid who's all heart. He's too young to join the Big War Council, and he's furious. Legend says he crushes an orange in his hand, swearing to fight. This dude gathers over 1,000 of his own men, makes a flag that says, "Crush the enemy, repay the king," and charges into battle at Hamtu. Picture it, a teenager leading a charge, fearless under a hail of arrows. Sadly, he doesn't make it, but his courage inspires generations. Another hero, Tran Bin Trung, gets captured and refuses to betray his country. He roars at the Mongols, "I'd rather be a ghost of the south than a prince of the north." That's the kind of loyalty that defines Dai Viet. By 1287, the Mongols are desperate. Kublai Khan throws everything at Dai Viet, 500,000 troops, 600 massive warships, led again by Togon and Omar. But Tran Hung Dao, he's cool as ice. He says, this year, beating these guys will be a breeze, and he's got a plan to prove it. Key battle, Bac Dang, April 9, 1988. Tran Hung Dao picks the Bac Dang River, where another Vietnamese hero, Ngo Nguyen, crushed an invasion 350 years earlier. He orders thousands of sharpened wooden stakes driven into the riverbed, hidden under the tide. It's a trap straight out of a movie. In February 1288, General Tran Can Du obliterates the Mongol supply fleet at Van Don, starving their army. Togon captures Thang Long, but it's another empty city. No food, no win. His troops are falling apart. On April 9, 1288, Tran Hung Dao lures Omar's navy into Bac Dang. As the tide drops, their ships hit the stakes and get stuck. Vietnamese troops pour out from both banks, launching fire arrows and burning the fleet to ashes. Over 400 Mongol ships go down, Omar and his deputy are captured, and tens of thousands of troops are wiped out. Togon, fleeing by land, gets ambushed left and right, barely making it home alive. Iconic quote, when the king asks if they should surrender, Tran Hung Dao shuts it down. "Your Majesty, you'd have to cut off my head before I'd ever surrender." That's the spirit that seals the deal. Bac Dang isn't just a win, it's a global legend. Historians compare it to epic naval battles like Salamis or Trafalgar. A tiny nation took down the world's superpower, and the Mongols never dared come back. 3 victories, Dong Bo Do, Chung Zung, But Dang, turned Dai Viet into a symbol of grit and genius. A small nation stopped the mightiest empire on earth, saving their independence and halting the Mongols' march into Southeast Asia. Quotes like, "My head's still on," "I'd rather be a ghost," and the Hich Tuong Si still echo today, reminding us what it means to stand tall. Tran Quoc Tuan, that 16-year-old warrior, shows nobody's too young to make a difference. Today, the Bac Dang River flows on, carrying the spirit of a people who wouldn't quit. This isn't just Vietnam's story, it's a lesson for anyone facing impossible odds. Courage and unity can move mountains. Wow, what a ride. Dai Viet proved that no enemy's too big if you've got heart and a plan. If you love this story, smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more history that'll blow your mind. Drop a comment. Which battle was your favorite? Dong Bo Dao, Chung Dung, or Bac Dang? And stay tuned for our next video on Vietnam's other epic heroes. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.